I felt like I needed to make this video just to point out the fact that there is a fundamental flaw in your thinking, because the Backstreet Boys are not coming back. They've been here for a while actually. They had a brief hiatus way back in 2000. So from 2000 to 2005, they weren't really, they just didn't do anything. They didn't tour, they didn't make records or anything. But once they came back in 2005, which was 8 years ago, since then, for these past 8 years, they have been working steadily. I mean, they've had 4 albums over that 8-year period. They came back with Never Gone in 2005, then Kevin left and they still had 2 more, This Is Us and Unbreakable. They didn't have a lot of chart success in US, it was mostly in international markets where they had more fame, but they were still doing a lot of work in the US. Then they had that whole thing what they did with New Kids on the Block, which I've never liked New Kids on the Block, so I just really didn't bother with that one. And then after that was over, Kevin came back and then they're making another album. And that brings us to this, but they're not actually coming back. It's not like this is their comeback album. Over these past 8 years, they've been busy. They've done a lot of work. They've put in multiple albums. They've been on a lot of tours. They've been doing a lot of work. It's the only reason it might feel like a comeback just because you didn't know they were there. I've been following them regularly throughout this entire 8-year period. Whereas other people, they just didn't think about them because it wasn't necessarily mainstream, because boy bands in general haven't had as much attention as they did back in the 90s. Whereas, nobody's talking about the Backstreet Boys like they used to back then. Like they're talking about Justin Bieber right now. But even they're just not getting the attention, but they've been here. So for me, I don't necessarily consider this, them making a comeback, because they've been here, they've been doing their thing regularly. It's just that only that core of fans that stayed with them and still followed them knew that they were still around, because we went out of our way to make sure we were informed of everything that they were still doing. Whereas the general public is just like, oh, Backstreet Boys made a new album? It's been a while, hasn't it? No, it really hasn't. They've been very much busy. Sorry, the Backstreet Boys are my all-time favorite artists, so I had to correct this. I just did.